31.7 million beef cows, 9.4 million dairy cows, 70.7 million hogs. Now, that's a lot to take in, but just how many people does it take to maintain these different livestock? The answer to that, 1.5% of the population. 58. What does that mean to you? Well, to most, 58 is just another number on a road or on a board. But to some, it stands for the average age of the American farmer. 9 billion. 9 billion is said to be the population by 2050. That means that the American farmer is going to have to produce enough crop to feed the population. Let's face it, the Snickers candy bar commercial is pretty accurate, because when we get hungry, we get grumpy. Growing hungry is a real problem, because farmers are feeding the world, but people don't really know what is actually going into feeding the world. People in agriculture need to start standing up and letting people know what is going on in the agriculture industry and what they're actually eating. What is your profession? What do you work tirelessly day in and day out doing? Well, for a farmer, their profession hits them right at home. No matter what it may be, either from the cow to the cropland. It is all his or hers, and it is what they call home. If you think about it, agriculture is everywhere around you. You may not know it, but no matter what you are a part of, agriculture pertains to it somehow or another. Now you might be thinking I'm off my rocker, but it is true. This country was built on agriculture. Even back to when our ancestors came across the Atlantic Ocean on the Mayflower. You might ask yourself, how did our ancestors provide food for them? The answer, agriculture. Just like today, agriculture is in everything. For example, look at what you have on. Your makeup has part of a cow in it. Your clothing is probably made out of cotton. Your shoes that you have on, if they're boots, are made of leather, which comes from a cow. That is just a few things that you use in your everyday life that comes from agriculture that many people don't realize. Picture this. Everything that you have in your life, everything that you have ever worked for, like your home, your clothes, your car, even your dog and your cat, and your cell phone, of course. Now, leave it all behind. That is what is happening to farmers in North Carolina. People are moving from the city to these rural areas. Now, the people that are moving to these rural areas are taking farmers to court because of their smell and the quote-unquote disturbances that they are calling. But that is quite funny, because the 4 farms that have been taken to court over this have never been cited in the entire lifespan of their farm with any violations. Now, when these cases were picked and they went to the jury could have no association to a farm. They could not even be a member of Farm Bureau insurances. But that is not the only thing. They could not even visit a live working hog farm while on the jury. If that is not rigged, then tell me what is rigged. Not one of these farms have won their court cases. And to have lost all, they paid millions of dollars to the residents that took them to court. Now to me, this is very sad, because they've had to watch everything they've ever worked for in their life be sold at an auction to be able to pay the millions that they've had to pay. But the real question is, where's it going to stop? How far are people going to take this? Are they going to come after my cattle herd next? Are they going to come after somebody's chicken houses? Or are they even going to come down to your dog and your cat? Now ask yourself, could you live back in the 30s and the 40s when there was no power, no internet, no computer, and no cell phone? Well, in today's world, everywhere you look, there's a computer or a cell phone in somebody's hands. And you have to admit, we're all addicted to them. That is why when we read something on the internet, we think it is the gospel and that we have to believe it because it's got to be true. Now granted, some things are credible and true that you read on the internet, but most are not. A good example of this is GMOs. Even though most people don't even know what GMO stands for, they think it is bad because the internet says so. But GMO simply means a genetically modified organisms. In simple terms, that means that they took a plant and made it better. But people want GMO-free crops because people portray them to be bad. The supermarkets and some producers have people believing that everything we eat have GMOs in them. But that is not true because only 10 crops have GMOs in them. Family. What does it mean to you? Is it your mom or your dad? Well, to me, family means one big mess that only you can understand. Now, I look at my grandparents and what they had to come through when they bought their first farm. They were told that y'all are crazy for doing this because it was right before the 80s, but they made it through the 80s on the other side and in better shape than when they went in. They are the reason why I want to spend my life farming just as they did. But other people don't. They want to leave the farm and never come back, and that is sad to say. So we as people in the agriculture industry need to stand up and let the world know what agriculture really is. We need to let the consumer know what they're really eating and what their food comes from, so we can continue to find a safer and more productive way to raise the 31.7 million beef cows, 9.4 million dairy cows, and the 70.7 million hogs, and numerous of other crops that it's going to take to feed the 9 billion people by 2050.